clear, in everyone's opinion, apparently 101, Caleb Williams. We're going to go ahead and put him on the Chicago Bears. Thor, when you talk about, and Dave just said he thinks he's a better prospect than CJ Stroud, but he doesn't think there's necessarily a generational prospect in this class. So which side of that are you closer on with Caleb Williams?
I agree with Dave. I don't think that he is a generational prospect. I like the ceiling with Williams, but I think the risk profile is higher than has been depicted. And I also don't think that he's not Pat Mahomes, or that ridiculous thing. I've been arguing against that since I first heard it. The bonanza comp for him is Aaron Rodgers. And the more, mid-line outcome would be Kyler Murray, I think is the more reasonable one. What you like about him is the arm and the athleticism, obviously. And what's cool about him is sort of the creativity and getting outside the pocket and the creation, stuff like that. The thing that's concerning about him is you didn't see the timing concepts and the anticipatory throws. And it's like, can he be taught that for the NFL? He just wasn't asked to do it by Lincoln Riley. The NFL, you have to do that. You can't just do I'm going to go outside and scramble every single time and then have the receivers break off the routes. It's not going to work. The last couple of years, both times in both of those seasons, Caleb Williams had a longer average time to throw than Justin Fields did. I know Bears fans don't want to hear this, but Justin Fields led the NFL in average time to throw last year. Each of the last two seasons, Caleb Williams averaged more time to throw at USC. Now, again, at the NFL level, he's going to have to do those timing concepts. He's going to have to throw over the middle. At USC, it was either the screen pass or it was, we're going to take a long time, we're going to scramble around, and we're going to create. There's going to have to be some of the other stuff at the next level. And the one path for Caleb Williams to play way down, I don't want to call it a bust, but the one path where he greatly disappoints, it would be where if the reason that was done, the reason that Lincoln Riley asked him to do that, it wasn't because Caleb Williams, it was simply he had a better arm and he was a better athlete than everyone. When he went out on the field, he was by far the best player. But it was that he struggles with those things. So it's Caleb, go out there and do what you're best at, and we're going to have you avoid that stuff. And that he would struggle with that stuff at the next level.
That's part of the mystery of the quarterback evaluation, right? There's all these guys probably going to have NFL things that their coach didn't ask them to do because their coach's main job is to win games. Dave, the two names that he said there, not Mahomes, maybe Kyler Murray. I think that's an interesting, kind of leads into a question I have. When we talk about Caleb Williams' rushing production the next 3 or 4 years in the NFL, would you expect it to be more like Mahomes, so he's in that maybe 300-yard rushing range? Or do you think that he could rush like Kyler Murray has in the NFL and maybe make up for some of his problems or inadequacies as a passer because he's just putting up so much on the ground?
Refresh my memory on Kyler. What's a good average number for his rushing yards?
Let's call it 300 and 600.
Yeah, I think he could be there probably earlier in his career compared to maybe 3-4 years down the road. I loved that he was good in the red zone just overall as a quarterback. And when he got near the goal line, I think it was at the goal line last 2 years, 9 of 11 converting for touchdowns. So I think that he can definitely add an element with his legs. I just don't think he'll be asked to do it as much as someone like Jaden Daniels will be asked to do that.
And it is like so much of that rushing production, which turns into fantasy gold, can either be coach/scheme related or willingness related on the quarterback side. It seems like he's at least willing. Now, you brought up the time to throw in the pocket, Thor. One thing that it seemed to stand out to me in this class is we have some real discrepancies in terms of like sack rate, pocket presence, the way these guys handle pressure. And Caleb Williams isn't particularly good at that. Is that something that we can hope improves? Or as Bears fans just dealt with Justin Fields, do you think he's kind of stuck with that issue?
Well, it's the thing that will improve it is working on those timing concepts and the stuff over the middle, because then if the out of the pocket stuff, the off script stuff, the creation stuff, it becomes the thing that's working off of that. And we already know that he's special at that, but then it's those things will be working in conjunction with one another, whereas it's not the only thing that you can do. It How easy will it be to defend that at the NFL level when it's the only thing, like the NFL defenders know it's, and the coordinators know it's the only thing that you can do? It's like the thing where, like we see this in baseball, right? Like you see in the baseball draft every year, the high school pitcher that throws 100 miles per hour, and then you see his ERA in high school was like 0.42. And then he goes to minor league baseball and they're like, we have to teach you how to pitch it, how to do a changeup and a curveball. And he can't do it. And then he that's what they're going to teach Caleb Williams. And it's like, theoretically, it's like, oh, that should be easy. You can already throw 100. You should be able to throw, 78 or 80. But like, we'll have to see. That's the thing that's open for debate, because we just didn't see that. And like last year, he had some ludicrous amount of plays where he took over 6 seconds to throw. Even last year, he improved his average time to throw to 3.16 seconds to pass. I think that was second worst in this class. It's something that needs to improve. His PFF grade under pressure cratered down to just over 40, like in the aggregate last year, which really bad. The year before it was better. That was the year where he won the Heisman, obviously. People give him the caveat of like, oh, USC's offensive line was bad last year. Sure, but he's doing that playground thing every single time. The modifications of the offense certainly would help, but he needs to also improve at those elements where it's getting the ball out quicker, where it's not just the screen pass stuff, that anticipatory throwing over the middle, those type concepts. You will see him on tape. This is the USC stuff. This isn't just the function of the offense. You will see him eschew open receivers right out the get on the route, because he wants to wait for longer down the field, because he wants to get outside the pocket, and we'll wait. And I want to get a guy later on, but then he gets himself into trouble. And that's why over his career, I think he fumbled the ball 32 times in 35 games. He didn't throw a lot of interceptions, but that was the stuff outside the pocket where it's like create. And all of a sudden it's like he has scrambled himself onto a bridge to nowhere. And now someone comes behind him and slaps the ball out.
He created his own chaos, did he not?
Exactly.
That's what I wrote. And that's what I saw too. And I agree 100%. Like, he was just so greedy. He's trying to win the Heisman again. It felt like, especially last year. And a lot of the fumbles came because he's holding the ball out like this. I know it's a little tiny blue ball, Heath, but he's holding it like the proverbial loaf of bread. I think if you go and watch him at Oklahoma, the offensive line was a little bit better. Yes. I think you see a few more of those anticipatory throws. I think he can do those things. I love the addition of Keenan Allen. Heath, you know this. As soon as the Bears acquired Keenan Allen, I said, that's it. They're getting Caleb Williams, because he's going to be able to help him make those shorter throws and be accurate with it. And as for pressure and short throws, combining that together, this stat kind of freaked me out on Caleb Williams. When he was pressured and throwing under 4 air yards, that's it. He had a 39.1% completion rate, which is low. I can't believe how low it is, but somehow it was higher than what Penix and Drake May did. So short throw, maybe that includes spikes and stuff like that, but really just a mystifying number, considering those should be throws that he makes all the time.
Okay, we do need to wrap up on Caleb Williams, but it's worth saying he is like the unquestioned 101 also. So there may have been a little bit more negative there. Let's just go real quick, elevator pitch, Thor, on why he's definitely the best quarterback in this class.
Because he's got a stupid arm and he's a stupid athlete. And he has like the other thing I'd say about him is he has sort of an artist creativity to him. And that's the compliment. I know we touch it, we tinge it negative, but there is this artist genius creativity to the way that he plays, and it can go both ways. And when it's the negative aspect, it can go too far the other way. And obviously the situation last year was bad, and that's when you saw the manifestation go the other way. But when it's going good, there is this touch of genius to the creative way that he sees the field.
Okay, rapid fire now. Just one last question. Both of you to answer. Dave, you can start because he is even in rookie superflex drafts. He's also already locked into 101. Like everybody's taking him there, but there's still a lot of one quarterback dynasty leagues out there. So what's the earliest reasonable time to look at Caleb Williams in a league where you can only start one quarterback?
105.
105. So four wide receivers ahead of him, or 3 in Bowers.
3 wide receivers and a tight end. I mean, we got to see where everybody lands. Brian Thomas goes to Buffalo. It's going to be 106.
Okay.